हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाये नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शङ्करं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरं भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम। We'll begin with the Shanti mantra. ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक् प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु। तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम्। We have begun the study of this beautiful Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, which is from Samaved. In the first five chapters, it reveals different types of upasana. And in the last three chapters, the main topic is Brahma Vidya. Introducing this sixth chapter, Bhagwan Sri Adi Shankaracharya Ji mentions that there are these two themes or two factors which are taken up in this chapter, which were referred to in the previous chapters. So in the third chapter, the upasana on Brahma was indicated. One has to meditate on Brahma as Tat Jalam, that Brahma is that from whom the world comes into existence, the world is sustained, and the world again goes back into it. So how is this to be understood is revealed in this chapter. Also, there was this Vaishvanara Upasana mentioned in the fifth chapter, wherein one has to meditate on that Vaishvanara as our own self, and one who does this Upasana, then whatever he eats, it satisfies all the beings. This is possible if Atma is one and not many. So how Atma is one is also indicated in this chapter through the story of the father and son. So we will begin by chanting the first mantra. Shwetaketur haruneya asa tagamha pito vacha Shwetaketu vasa brahmacharyam navai somya asmat kulino anucha brahma bandhuriva bhavati iti. Once more. Shwetaketur haruneya asa tagamha pito vacha Shwetaketu vasa brahmacharyam navai somya asmat kulino anucha brahma bandhuriva bhavati iti. So Shwetaketu iti Shwetaketuhu iti namatah ha iti aitigya artah aruneya arunasya pautra asa babhuva. So once upon a time there was the grandson of Aruna, Shwetaketu. See, Aruna's, the Shwetaketu's father is Uddalaka Muni, and Uddalaka Muni's father is Aruna. So Shwetaketu is the grandson of Aruna. Therefore, here it is mentioned Shwetaketu her Aruneya asa. Her indicates the past history. Once upon a time, just like we begin our story with this phrase, once upon a time. Similarly, the Upanishad reveals this knowledge through this story. Just as the Upanishad is eternal, the story is also eternal. So through this story, the Brahma Vidya is revealed. The story is given to indicate the importance of this knowledge and also for easy comprehension. So this Shwetaketu, the son of Uddalaka, used to stay in the ashram with his father, and he was 12 years old, but did not begin his study of the Vedas, because that is the system that once we grow up, then we should begin our study. And our study is the study of the Vedas, which gives us the knowledge of dharma, means not only what we should, what is good, what is not good, what are my duties, and it also, in the Gurukul, they also used to teach the various professions depending on the varna of the seekers. So here, the Shwetaketu had not begun his study, though his father himself was a great rishi, but Shwetaketu did not learn from his father also. So one day his father told him that you should go to a Gurukul and learn. Tam putram ha arunihi pita yogyam vidya bhajanam manvanaha tasya upayana kala apyayam cha pashyan uvacha. So the father, when he saw the time is going, means it is already past the time when he should begin his study, and he is also quite a fit student, can be a good student. So seeing all this, the father told Shwetaketu that, Hey Shwetaketu, Anurupam Gurum Kulasya no Gatva Vasa Brahmacharyam. That you go to a proper teacher and stay in the Gurukul and learn. See, this in our tradition, we used to have this Gurukul, wherein the student is to go and reside with the Guru in the ashram. That is to be known as Gurukul, and study the Vedas and whatever the profession. And after the study is over, is to come back home. So here, father told his son that you should also go to a proper teacher, stay with him, and study. He says, Nacha etat yuktam yad asmat kulino he somya anucha anaditya brahma bandhuriva bhavati iti. He said, this is not proper. In our family, no one has remained without proper education. So everyone has gone to Gurukul and have learned. So you too should go and learn. That will be proper. Don't remain uneducated, illiterate, like a Brahma Bandhu. Here the term Brahma Bandhu is used, that the Shwetaketu was a Brahmana, and his relatives were also Brahman. But a Brahmin is one who has studied the Vedas and who is also following the path shown by the Vedas, striving to cultivate all the qualities mentioned in the Vedas for a good Brahmin, and pursue this path sincerely. So the Brahmanas are given the main, their duty is to protect the Vedas by regularly chanting, by hearting all the mantras, and also by doing the daily rituals which are prescribed in the Vedas, so that the sanctity of the Vedas are maintained. See, the Vedas are, as I have mentioned before also, are Anadi, Ananta, Apaurishya. They are beginningless, they are not man-made, and they are vast. And they are taught, they are learned from the teacher through this parampara and is taught to the student. So through this oral parampara only, the great tradition of these Vedas are maintained. And this, the whole Vedas are in Sanskrit, and the language is so precise, like mathematics, that even if one swara is missing, or if it is chanted differently, then the whole meaning can go wrong. Therefore, it has to be learned precisely, properly, chanted properly, and taught properly. And in that way, the individual who are learning, not only they benefit, but the tradition is also maintained. So the great Vedas have come all the way from beginningless time all the way to the present time because of this wonderful parampara of Guru Shishya, of father and son, who have maintained this sanctity of the Vedas. See, even nowadays we have printing and all, and even if there are some printing mistakes, then the whole thing is gets spoiled, corrupted, meaning also is spoiled. So it has to be free from all errors. So this traditional way of chanting the Vedas is such that it maintains this error-free sanctity of the Vedas. There is a special system of chanting, which is called Shiksha. So the Vedas, they have this Anga, various limbs. One of the important limb is the Shiksha, in which the way the Vedas should be chanted is taught. Om Shiksham Vyakhyasyamasah Varnaswarah Matra Balam Samasantanah Ityukta Shri Ikshadhyayah. Special attention to be given on the Varna, the alphabets, the strength with which it should be chanted, the laya, the tune in which it should be chanted, and so many other factors are there. So the Brahmanas And those who were given the authority by the Vedas, they chant these Vedas and they follow the path shown by the Vedas, they perform the rituals, and they teach this to their own student or their children, and in this way the parampara is maintained. So here Shwetaketu, being born in a Brahmin family, he was just staying with his father and had not started his study. So his father said, "You should now begin. It is high time you go to a Gurukul, stay with the Guru, learn the Vedas, learn the proper path, and sincerely follow this. Then only you will be considered as a Brahmin. Otherwise, you will only have relatives as Brahmin, but you yourself will not be a Brahmin. If you don't know the Vedas, if you don't practice, then you are only Brahmin namesake. Your relatives will be Brahmin, but you will not be a Brahmin." So that is a very important thing which is mentioned. Ya Brahma Bandhuriva Bhavati. You will just be a Brahma Bandhu. Brahma Bandhu means Brahmanan Bandhun Vepadishati na Swayam Brahmana Vritta iti. You will indicate your relatives as Brahmin, but you yourself will not be a Brahmin. You will not be following that proper dharma of a Brahmin. So even now, actually, many people, because they are born in a Brahmin family, may consider themselves as a Brahmin. But according to our tradition, only when we do the proper karma as per the varna, then only we will be considered Brahmin. Otherwise, it is only a name. So here the father told the son that you should go to a teacher and learn. It is high time you do it. Though he should have started early, he had already turned 12 years. The father was also very lenient with him, but then finally he said, "You go and learn." Here Shankaracharya writes, "Ki tasyatah pravasah anumiyate pituhu ena swayam gunavan san putram na upaneshyati." That maybe the father was traveling, therefore he himself did not start the teaching, though he was himself qualified to teach his son. The son was also qualified, but he himself did not teach. He told him that you go, stay in some Gurukul and learn. Many times, actually, the children, they may not have that type of rapport with their own parents, but may have developed that proper rapport with some other teacher. That can also be there. So Shwetaketu, he then went to the ashram, to some ashram, and stayed in the ashram and studied. He stayed for 12 years. 12 years is considered as one tapa, one very important period. Whatever we do consistently with faith, with devotion, for 12 years, at least, it becomes very strong. So 12 years is like one tapa. So Shwetaketu goes and stays in an ashram. Then what happens? We'll chant the second mantra. सः 12 वर्षम् उपेत्य 24 वर्षः सर्वान् वेदान् अधीत्य महामना अनुचानमानी स्तब्ध एयाय तगमः पितोवाच श्वेतकेतु यन्नु सौम्य इदं महामना अनुचानमानी स्तब्धः स्तब्धोऽसि उत तस्मात् उत तम आदेशम अप्राक्ष्यः. Once more. सः 12 वर्षम् उपेत्य 24 वर्षः सर्वान् वेदान् अधीत्य महामना अनुचानमानी स्तब्ध एयाय तगमः पितोवाच श्वेतकेतु यन्नु सौम्य इदं महामना अनुचानमानी स्तब्धोऽस्युत तम आदेशम अप्राक्ष्यः. So सः 12 वर्ष उपेत्य 24 वर्षः. So Shwetaketu went and stayed in the Gurukul. He stayed for 12 years. He was 12 and then he stayed for 12 years. So when he turned 24 years, he, after studying all the whatever has to be studied there in the ashram, Sarvan Vedan Atitya, studying all the Vedas, the Dharma and all, Aditya, he came back back home, and his father saw him. And how did he return? What was his personality then after the whole education? So he says, Mahamanaha. He had become very proud. Anuchanamani. He considered himself as a great knowledgeable person, could speak and express everything. Stabdaha, very rigid, stubborn. Eyaya, like that he became and came. So sometimes we send our children to schools and colleges so that they can learn, they will get educated properly, and they become better person. Because the main idea about education is not only to make us fit for dealing with different situations in life, and also make us fit for earning our livelihood and all. But the main thing is to make us a good human being, a complete human being who knows how to behave, how to interact with people and situation in this world, and one who has got proper understanding of life, proper goal in life, dedicated to his work, dedicated to his family and society, etc. So all-round proper education is what we expect from our children when they go to school, college, and when they return. But sometimes we find that it is not as we had expected. So here also, when Shwetaketu came back home, he was totally a different person altogether. Had not become better, but has become worse. Shankaracharya ji in his commentary he writes कि सब पित्रः उक्तः श्वेतकेतुः द्वादश वर्षः सन उपेत्य आचार्यम. So when father told Shwetaketu, you go to the ashram and study, so Shwetaketu went and stayed there for 12 years. Yavat chaturvimshati varshah babhuva. So when he became 24 years, tavat sarvan vedan chaturo api adhitya. Then he studied in the Gurukul, he studied all the Vedas. See, Vedas are the very source of all knowledge. So studying Vedas means studying everything. It includes everything. The Vedas not only teach about our supreme goal of self-realization, but the Vedas also teach us how to live in this world following proper dharma, fulfilling all our responsibilities and doing all our duties, and becoming a productive, proper citizen of this world. So it's a complete holistic education. The whole syllabus is are the Vedas. Nowadays we go and study all sorts of things, and even after studying, we don't know how to live in this world, how to behave, how to pursue our path properly. People, even after going through all the education, they come back totally confused or having some other ideas and concept of this world. So it's very difficult. So here also the situation is shown that Shwetaketu, when he returned after studying all these Vedas and all, कि तावत सर्वान वेदांश चतुरो अपि adhitya, after even studying. See, it is one thing that teacher teaches, but at times the student, they carry their own samskar also. So here, even after staying and learning all the Vedas, tadartham cha buddhva, after gaining that knowledge, he became mahamanaha, very proud. Mahat gambhiram manaha. Yasya samam atmanam anyehi manyamanam mano yasya yoyam soyam mahamanaha. One who considers that there is nobody like me, become very proud, well, full of vanity. So that pride of learning, that is also, see, we not only have pride, we can develop pride for our possession, worldly possessions, but people can also become proud of their learning. That I am the most educated, I have studied in this university, I have so many degrees. So they look down upon others. They consider others as inferior. Even they become very proud in front of their own parents, who may not be so educated as the child, but they had worked hard to send him to good school and college, spent a lot of money on him. But this fellow becomes totally proud of whatever little learning he had. So same thing happened with this Shwetaketu. He became Mahamana, that I have learnt everything, I know everything now. Nobody is equal to me. And Anuchanamani, Anuchanam atmanam manyata iti evam shilaha ya. So anuchanam ani. So considering himself as a great vakta also, that I can speak on any topic, any question you ask me, I can answer. I know everything. I know how to express. So that type of attitude. And he came with this attitude to his own father, who was a great Muni, great Rishi himself. So he considered himself as more learned also. And Stabdaha became Stabda also. Stabda means apranata swabhava, eyaya gruham. Stabda means not bending, not having that humility, rigid, fanatic type, not flexible, not gentle, not even bowing down in front of his own father or elders. So apranata swabhava, eyaya graham, he came back home. So 12 years he stayed in the Gurukul, father, and no contact with the family. And after 12 years he returned with this swabha. So when the father saw him in this condition, he felt that, oh, he has not really learnt anything. Tam evam bhutam hi atmanah ananurupa shilam stabdam maninam putram drishtva. So seeing his son so rigid, so proud, full of that vanity of his learning. So seeing his son, Drishpa Pito Vacha Sadharmavatar Kirshaya. So his father spoke to him in order to teach him proper dharma, to teach him proper that knowledge. Because father felt that he has not learnt anything. Even after returning from this whatever Gurukul, he has not really learnt. So Shwetaketu yanno idam mahamana anuchanamani stabdascha asi kaste atishaya prapta upadhyayat. So father asked him that, hey Shwetaketu, you have become so proud. You consider yourself as a great orator, also a great scholar. You have become so rigid. What did you learn from your teacher? Kaste atishaya prapta upadhyaya. What special thing did you attain from your teacher that you are so proud, that you consider yourself great? What have you achieved in that Gurukul? What did you learn from your teacher so special, which is making you so very proud that I am the greatest? Then the father asked him a question, very, very important. He says, Kyu uta apitam adesham adishyata iti adeshaha. That did you ask your teacher to give you that knowledge? What knowledge? इति आदेशः केवल शास्त्र आचार्य उपदेश गम्यम इति एतत् येन वा परम ब्रह्मादिश्यते स आदेशः तम अप्राक्ष्यः पृष्टवान असि आचार्यम्. Adesh is that which the teacher teaches about the Supreme Brahma. That knowledge of that Supreme Brahma, which we gain only from the teacher, is indicated here by the term Adesh, that Upadesh, that knowledge. And this the teacher gives at times when he sees the student as fit to gain this knowledge, and also when the student himself or herself request for this knowledge. See, in Gurukul, other things might be taught in detail, and when the student is seen to be fit to gain Brahma Vidya, then the teacher will teach Brahma Vidya to that student. Otherwise, the student may return back home without learning that Brahma Vidya. May not be fit, may not be ready for this supreme knowledge. So after being with the teacher, after following the path shown by the teacher, after doing seva in the Gurukul of the teacher, following whatever discipline one has to follow in the ashram, one develops that purity of the antakarana. And with that purity of the antakarana, one may develop that jidnyasa to know about that supreme Brahma, of that supreme reality. Because one learns dharma, and dharma can be comprehended and understood properly only if we can understand its relationship with that supreme Brahma. So that jidnyasa may arise in our mind, and we may ask the teacher, please, can you tell us about that supreme Brahma? Here, Shwetaketu had not asked, and the teacher had also not revealed this to Shwetaketu. So his father asked him that you have become so proud, so very considering yourself great. Did you ask your teacher about that Adesh? Uta api tam adesham adishyata iti adeshah kevala shastra acharya upadesha gamyam iti etat. And this knowledge can be gained only through the teacher. We cannot gain the knowledge of Brahma by ourselves, by reading books. We cannot learn it. Shankaracharya in his commentary, he writes that even if a person is very scholarly, very intelligent, such a person should also not try to gain knowledge of Brahma independently by himself. Because there are more chances of getting more chances of misunderstanding. So the father asked his son Shwetaketu that did you ask your teacher Yena va param brahma adishyate, that upadesh by which one comes to understand that Brahma. Sa adeshah tam aprakshah prishtavan asi acharyam. Did you ask your acharya? So Shwetaketu was taken aback. He was not expecting this. He was of the opinion that he has studied everything that has to be studied. He knows everything that has to be known. And that is what generally in this world we find people, even scholarly, intelligent people, after gaining lot of learning in this world, because we have a storehouse of knowledge which we have accumulated as human beings. We have a storehouse of knowledge. And nowadays, with these computers and our mobile also, all the knowledge means information which we want is just available at your fingertips, as they say. Anything you want to know, you just put it on the Google and you search it, and you will get all the information. So people generally think that there is nothing more to be known. And even the knowledge of this Brahma, since we try to learn it by ourselves through Google and through books and all, we just get information about it, not a real wisdom. So we feel satisfied with that only, that I know what is Brahma, I know everything. So though remaining ignorant, we get a notion that I have known everything now. But here Shwetaketu had not even asked about that Brahma. So when his father told him this, he was totally taken aback. He did not know, he had not asked, and he did not know what is this knowledge, what is so special about it. Because I have learned so much. I can write books and create libraries of what I have learned. But still, there is something more than that, something special that I did not know. So he asked his father that what is it? What is this special knowledge and what is so special about it? So then the father says in the next mantra, Ena ashrutam shrutam bhavati amatam matam avidnyatam vidnyatam iti katham no bhagavah sa adesho bhavati iti. Again, Ena ashrutam shrutam bhavati amatam matam avidnyatam vidnyatam iti katam no bhagavah sa adesho bhavati iti. So what is that adesha? What is that knowledge which one can gain from the teacher? So here father says, it is that knowledge, ena ashrutam shrutam bhavati. If you gain that knowledge, then even those things which you have not heard becomes known. You come to know about them. Even those things about which you have not even heard, ashrutam, which you have not heard, they also become heard. Amatam matam, that which you have not thought about, that which you have not given much thought to, that also becomes that which is thought of. And avidnyatam vidnyatam, and that which is not known becomes known. It is that knowledge, when one gains it, there remains nothing more or nothing different to be known. Everything becomes known. Even those things which we have never heard about is known. We come to know about it. Even those things which one has never thought about, one comes to know about them. And those things which I don't know becomes known. That is that knowledge. See, this knowledge of this type can be the knowledge, because when we look at this world, it is so vast. And there are so many different things in this world. It is so very complex and so vast that one can spend years together learning about this world endlessly. Not only years, but even if we spend many, many lifetimes, everything will not become known. People, they spend so much time doing research and gaining their doctorate and all in some subject which nobody has done before, and they gain their doctorate. But even after gaining that degree, there remain so many other subjects which are unknown to them. Even to learn about a little thing of this world takes so much of time and effort. So much of research people do. They spend their entire life doing research. And even after spending their whole life, they don't get the complete knowledge about it. In the field of science also, there are scientists who are struggling for years together. They spend a lot of time, energy, sacrificing their comforts and everything, and still they don't get the complete knowledge about it. There are different types of beings are there, different objects are there, matter is there, energy is there. Therefore, we have different subjects in our schools and colleges also. Science, arts, maths, different literature, vast. But here it is said that if you gain this knowledge, everything will become known. Even the unknown will become known. All that you had never known before will become known. So, katam no bhagavasa adeshaha bhavati iti. So, what is this adesha? What is this special knowledge? Shankaracharya on this, he writes his commentary, he says, Ena adeshena shrutena ashrutam api anyashrutam bhavati. That which has not been heard becomes heard. Amatam matam, atarkitam tarkitam. That which one has not thought of, one has not inquired, that also becomes known. Tarkitam bhavati. Avidnyatam. Vidnyatam. Anishchitam. Nishchitam bhavati. That which is not clear, that which one doesn't have proper understanding, proper knowledge, that also becomes known. Sarvanapi Vedan aditya sarvam cha anyat vedyam adigamya api akratartah eva bhavati. Yavad atma-tattvam na janati iti akhyayikatah avagamyate. Very beautiful. Bhagwan Shankaracharya says that from this story we come to know that even after learning everything which is there in the Vedas or in the whole library of other literature, even after learning everything, Sarvanapi Vedan aditya, even after learning all the Vedas, sarvam cha anyat vedyam adhigamyam api, even after gaining all the knowledge which is revealed there, knowing all that has to be known, still akrutartham eva bhavati, still our education remains incomplete. Still we don't become fulfilled. Still we don't gain that complete satisfaction. Yavad Atma Tattvam na janati, till we don't know the Atma Tattvam. Only by gaining the knowledge of the Swarupa of that Atma, only by gaining knowledge of that Brahma, our education is complete. Otherwise, we are as ignorant and as stupid as anyone else. यावद् आत्मतत्त्वं न जानाति इति आख्यायिकातः अवगम्यते तद् एतद् अद्भुतं श्रुत्वा. So when his father said this, it is something which is so miraculous, so wonderful, it is adbhut. Aha katham no etad aprasiddham. What is this which is so very different, which is not even, it doesn't seem logical also. Ki anyat vijnanena anyat vijnatam bhavati iti. That knowing one thing, you know everything. How can one, knowing one thing, one can know something else? It is unheard of. Suppose a person does some research in one field, he doesn't become knowledgeable about other fields. There are no subjects in this world gaining the knowledge of which we gain the knowledge of other things. Even the greatest, the most intelligent person who has gained some knowledge will be totally stupid and foolish about other things of life. Sometimes we call people, oh, he's so ignorant, he's so illiterate. But that illiterate person may have knowledge about which you are totally illiterate. In the cities we stay, we feel ourselves so educated, so very bright and intelligent. We know how to move around in the city. We know what things are available where. We know how to use the different things. We know how to go into use the different vehicles and transport and all. We don't get confused. The metros are there and the buses are there and the taxis and all those. And nowadays we online also we can book. So we consider ourselves so sharp, so brilliant, so street smart. But that street smart person, if you place him in a jungle, within a day he will just get totally lost there. May get killed also by some wild animals, or may eat something which will be poisonous, or will be bitten by some snake or some scorpion or something. So that person is totally illiterate, uneducated in the forest. So, gaining knowledge of one thing, how can we gain the knowledge of everything else, which is unheard of? So, aprasiddham anyat vijnanena anyat vijnatam bhavati iti evam manvanaha pritchati katham no kena prakarena he bhagavah sa adesho bhavati. Katham no bhagavah sa adesha bhavati. Please tell me, O Bhagwan, O my dear Father, with due respect, Shwetaketu is now speaking to his father, addressing him as Bhagwan, that please tell me what is this Adesha, what is this special knowledge, knowing which everything becomes known. So yathas adeshaha bhavati tashrunu. Now the teacher, his father tells him what is that adesh, what is that knowledge, knowing which everything will become known. This we will see is the most important and very beautiful mantra is there, which we will see in our class on Monday. So till then you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana. Go through the pravachan again, listen to it. Read Bhagwan Shankaracharya's Bhashya and be prepared for the next class. Okay? So see you on Monday. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Bole Syavar Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.